company owns Mississippi Power, Alabama Power, Georgia Power, among others, and employs literally thousands of people, is closely regulated by the Georgia Public Service Commission, has 3 nuclear power facilities, 2 in Georgia, 1 in Alabama, with 5 reactors that have been in production for years. So this loan guarantee to start up 2 additional reactors at Plant Vogtle by the Southern Company, comparing that loan guarantee to this loan guarantee for a company like Solyndra is a little disingenuous. But let me go ahead and start the questioning with you, Mr. Silver. When you met with committee staff in March of this year, you represented that the restructuring agreement your agency reached with Solyndra in 2011, I believe February, had positioned the DOT and the United States taxpayer for maximum recovery. But the company is now bankrupt, and it turns out the government is now in a second position to Solyndra's investors in the deal, those that put up an additional $75 million in that restructuring. Why did the DOT allow Solyndra's investors to be first in line to recover rather than the taxpayer? Under the Energy Policy Act, isn't your #1 duty to protect the taxpayer funds?
It is absolutely one of our essential concerns to focus as much as we can on the security of taxpayer monies. And that's why we reached the decision we did. A restructuring is always, by definition, a decision among a set of tough choices, because it means, by definition, a company is struggling. The fundamental question that we were trying to answer.
Yeah, but let me interrupt you. If you have the legal authority to make those tough choices, the Energy Policy Act of 2005 expressly states that, and I quote, "The obligation or loan guarantee shall be subject to the condition that it is not subordinate to other financing." This language makes Congress's intent seem pretty clear to me, to protect the taxpayers' money. Isn't this exactly what the Solyndra restructuring did, make the taxpayers' interests subject to other financing? Doesn't the Solyndra restructuring violate the law?
Congressman, I'm not a lawyer, but I will tell you that the decision was reviewed by the Loan Guarantee Council, by DOE Council, and by OMB Council. And the conclusion of that analysis was that projects needed to be in the senior secured position at issuance, as indeed this loan was, as indeed every of our loans is. But I will tell you, while not a lawyer, I will tell you as a businessman that if you do not permit restructurings of transactions and the tools required to do that, lenders will be in.
Let me interrupt. I understand that. I understand that in the private sector, and of course you came from the private sector. I think you mentioned earlier involved in hedge fund activity and that sort of thing, and a lot of wheeling and dealing, and that's permitted. But in this particular instance, now you said you received a legal memorandum on DOE's interpretation of the Energy Policy Act, correct?
As I said, counsel in the loan program, at the General Counsel of DOE and at OMB all reviewed this matter.
Who reviewed the memorandum?
Which lawyers?
Yes.
I'm not sure which on the staff.
But it was approved by the General Counsel. You just don't know which lawyer.
I don't know which staff lawyers did the work. No, sir.
Okay, but it was approved by the General Counsel.
It was certainly reviewed.
I want to discuss one part of the legal opinion. Will the committee clerk please put the language from the statute on the screen? I believe that is slide number 1. Yeah. All right. Just look at what it says, and let me read it to you, because I'm kind of in the corner here and I can't read the monitor. But number 3, subordination. The obligation shall be subject to the condition that the obligation, the loan, is not subordinate to other financing. That's part of the Energy Policy Act of 2005. The DOE legal opinion seems to be based on the use of the word "is" in the statute. The legal opinion states, and I quote, "The reading of the provision is reinforced by the use of the word "is," which we viewed as confirming the intent that the condition be satisfied at a single point in time," meaning you can't subordinate when the guarantee is issued, but you can at restructuring. Is DOE basing its opinion that taxpayers can be second in line to investors based on what the meaning of is? Wasn't DOE tortured interpretation exactly the opposite of that plain language in the statute?
I'm not a lawyer, sir. I relied on counsel's judgment on that.
You didn't have a very good lawyer, and I think you got bad advice. I yield back.
The gentleman from Texas is recognized for 5 minutes. Mr. Green.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I have some questions, but I'm shocked that my Republican colleagues be concerned